Okay. And we're live. And I'm guessing the connection is horrible. Nope, it says it's excellent. All right. Something is not right. Something is very wrong. I look at OBS and OBS is lagging, and that is not correct. Let's okay. It's reacting. What is up, my nation of shadow denizens, Shadow Realm citizens? Today, what's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be looking at a Flutter to-do app, the same one that I always work on while nobody watches. Today, we're going to be looking at the history page. All right, let's just jump into it. So, on the last episode, all I really did was troubleshoot. I renamed the built GraphQL project to Major GraphQL because of a namespace collision that I didn't realize was there. I think I actually saw this package a while ago, but for some reason I just didn't register that built GraphQL, that name was already taken. So I changed the name, which, you know, it has its pros and its cons. Wow, that is just a horrible score. That is just awful. It's because I'm not popular. So, yeah, well, that's fine. It's 001. So, but one thing I kind of dislike about the pub scoring system is that they this number is all well and good, but like it implies to the user that the package is like not good. Things like the package description is too short. Like okay, fine, but I don't know. And popularity. I mean, all these things do matter, but and it is a bit fun to like try and like obsess over them. But you know, what I would include in a score like this is I would include some metric about like commit frequency or you know, GitHub basic metrics, and most importantly, if somebody can show me that their package is monetized, like that development of the package will continue because the incentives are aligned, that's like the main indicator of a quality package to me. So even if somebody's trying to monetize it. Okay, so all I did was rename the package, and then here I'll show you the commit log that I made. So it took me like an hour and a half to realize that all I had to do was change. So all I had to do was change this one file this needs to be this is syntax shorthand for the commit before this commit. But because I'm on, dear Lord, because I'm on Z shell, and I have not fixed this feature, the caret would do something else, so I have to quit it. This is all I had to do. That is it. Because built GraphQL was lexicographically sorted before built value generator, and now major GraphQL is lexicographically sorted after, so I have to manually specify the order. That took me an embarrassing amount of time. So alrighty, I should get a push to unmute button. That's right. When I typed the alert emoji in the chat, I needed to Google it to get the icon. That's just how I roll, y'all. Okay, so my server's already running. Is this really already running? I'm restarting it because I'm skeptical. We're quitting all of our open documents, closing the example. So this should be a nice large slice of novel functionality. What are the constituent components of this? I think we'll need, because we'll need a navigation element. So we'll add like a bottom navigator. Let's see. Bottom nav, new page. We'll need to get all the tasks and list them. That's actually really all. So I'm gonna this probably won't actually take very long. So let's go to main. So this should actually be, this has a scaffold, right? What's up, Dan? So do we want actions, or do we want a bottom bar? Let's do a bottom navigation bar. tab bar. Is this what we want? Tabs are, okay, tab. So we'll need our original home element and okay, and a default tab controller, I believe. So I'm going to grab something with a multiple children. No, I'm going to grab something with a single child and then just replace it with a tab controller. What? No. Default tab controller provider? I'm surprised that there isn't a default tab controller provider provided by Scaffold. I'm not putting a circular progress indicator in the tab. Tab. Okay. 1, 0. But what's this length? 2. So this stuff isn't where we really want it to be. Oh. Okay. So it's rendering. Let's give it just a little bit of color. Just a little bit of color. Pink. That's a nice color. Okay. What happens if I click this? It moves. So now we have navigation. That's not true. I'm a liar. What we have is a singular tab bar. So we're going to do this the normal Flutter way, which I honestly don't like that much, but tab view switcher. Flutter, what is this called? Create the tabs, blah, 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 create the content, tab bar view. This is the one we want. So this will automatically hook into our the in-scope tab controller, I believe. So if we just throw this like boilerplate, this, we're not in JavaScript, we're in Dart. So yeah, so see that error, no tab controller for tab view? It wants our default tab bar. So we're going to pluck it from here and we're gonna spit it out on on a higher level of code. So this, again, we're doing this in the task list, which is not where it belongs. I'm just doing it for illustrative purposes. I'm just doing it to get something, anything. It doesn't like it because I told it we're only going to have 2 tabs, but then I gave it 3 tab items. So yes, now we can switch between car and bus. Okay, so the question now is, where in the app should we put this? I think there's a bit of a, well, I think this should be its own module. So for now, let's go ahead and make a file navbar or navigation. Let's make it very general. Let's make a navigation file. We're gonna dump a bunch of stuff, delete a bunch of stuff that we don't need. Navbar. Bottom navbar. So we might end up putting, the reason why this is navigation and not just bottom navbar is because we might end up putting a lot more stuff in it. So the reason we're going to do that is so that we can do poor man's dependency injection into the scaffold and give each route complete control of the scaffold, because there's just, I don't want to make the decision to remove affordances against the scaffold. Like we're using things, what are we using on the scaffold here? We're setting the title in the scaffold, and we're going to do that differently for each route. And we could even add floating action buttons. Well, we'll probably add different floating action buttons per scaffold. So we just want to encapsulate the navigation, the navigation problem domain in its own place. So we took out our navigation bar. What else do we need here? We need our pages. We don't need that, do we? Well, let's just leave it as bottom navbar for now. Really? It's just called bottom navbar? Navbar. Let's just call it that for now. Maybe this is excessive of me. We will see. As we often do, it should be there. And as I promised, yeah, let's put a little controller on here. It's not a getter, it's a pseudo widget. A pseudo widget is what I call a widget that is like just a callback, a functional programming widget. Context, child. So, you know, it's uppercased here because it pretends to be a widget. We might change that in the future. Just remember, everything could change like that. That's just the way the world is. So that doesn't belong there, clearly. Let's make another pseudo widget here. What is this? View. Tab view. It's a tab view. Do I have stream delay turned on in OBS? No. But there's always going to be some amount of delay. I have it set to ultra low latency, but I think there's just always some delay. So Also, I don't always see what you say in the chat as soon as it comes through, because I have the chat open on my phone so that I have more screen real estate on the screen real estate. So, okay, that's not quite done yet. So this is actually iterable. Yeah. For when I initially started it up, the OBS itself was lagging, which I think has stopped. Okay, so now our tab bar, I threw some. These are janky APIs. A lot of you will recognize this as janky APIs. A lot of you being the one person in the chat. Can I get a hashtag Janktown in the chat? But so we're going to, where should this go? How important is the tab controller? I think it's right under home for now. Tab, what is this? Nav bar. Nav bar, controller. This is some Janktown. This API is rough around the edges. I don't actually need controlled. All I need is the tab view, controlled tab view. We can this is what I'm going to do. And it's a sin, because all we need is one entry point right now. So I'm just going to wrap them. This is stupid. This is better. This is how the system is actually meant to work. The system being Flutter. This vindicates my decision to, I was wondering why I was feeling like it was a mistake to name this navigation. Now I know it wasn't. Then this I need a hotkey for. It's silly to do that every time. There we go. Now it's looking like it should. Now we've got an actual widget. Actual widgets, better than pseudo widgets. Let me tell you, I've been saying it for years. Don't make pseudo widgets, just make real widgets. I've been saying it for years to myself. And we're gonna get a task list in here. So, and, no. And another task list so it doesn't break. And then we're going to undo all of the changes we applied here. Because all we need to do here is that. There we go. So we'll start adding a quote-unquote page naming convention. Can always come back for that later. So here's a good question. Should this be stateful or stateless? Is there going to be any kind of page level action we're going to want to do on the history page? And I'm going to say, for now, no. There is not. All tasks variables, huh? So we're not dealing with get tasks, we're dealing with all tasks. For now, we might change that. And it's not, it's history slash, right? Doesn't like that. Get all tasks. Yeah, these are bad. These are bad because these are bad names because obviously get tasks and get all tasks are very similar. Those are very similar names. So we'll change that soon. But for now, we will not. Probably to like task history or something so that it can be more generic. Do we need that? We don't need any of that, but we need all of this. And now we've got a history page. Delete that. We're not going to have a create tasks form. And voila. That's actually way better than I thought it. That took very little time to get just to there. So what all should be included in the history page? What all should be included in the history page? The widget needs to be different, that's for one. I'm not entirely sure if ongoing tasks should be included in history, in the history page right now, because I'm not sure if it wants to be history or if it wants to be all tasks. Like what are the views, right? So this is like our execution view, and then like this is our everything view, analysis view, retrospective view. So that will need to get sorted out, but we can at least get some, so task display, right? We could just add this. So if it's expanded, then what should we display? Should it even look the same expanded? I mean, it's totally non-interactive, so yeah, it shouldn't. Even calling this task display is not quite correct. Well, let's clean up a little bit here. I've run into this before. I'm starting to feel like I need actual designs. Let me think. Let me look at other to-do apps real quick. So in Google Keep, they've got a search bar. It's all about they bury the archive, which makes sense. Okay. So we definitely want to clean up some. Let's call this task list for now. Move that in there. Move that in there. Move that in there. Move that in there. That's about all that belongs in there. This crashed. So we want to I'm sure there are better refactoring tools than this somewhere. As our project scales, we should take a look into it. Doesn't like it, huh? Why? Oh, it's a versioning thing? Weird. Okay. This is this is definitely something I'll want to get worked out in the monorepo environment. So we're going to use dependency overrides instead, I guess. Hopefully it doesn't complain about them being non-dev dependencies. I think that's only a thing in when you go to publish. When you go to publish, if you've got a dependency override that is non-dev, they don't like it. They don't like it at all. So let's go look at like product hunt. I don't know. Todoist. This is like the premiere, right? This is they actually built a freaking company around a to-do app. Who would try to do such a thing? I'm joking. That's me. That I do. That's what I want to do that. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So what happens? I add a task. Just do it. I add this task. It's in my inbox tag. I can add comments and stuff. Add reminders. I'm intimidated. Just oh, I can edit it in line. I used to be all about that, but you can schedule it. You can schedule to-dos. That's a good idea. But you can't add a timer. That's actually, this is such a sophisticated interface, I'm kind of surprised. Start. Undo. They use material design here. Okay, so let's say I've done it. Hashtag Todoist0. Okay. Okay. Got filters. This is slick. Okay, how do I created a task? Okay, how do I go see what I've done? Todoist is not about, okay, they've got a graph. A lot can stop me. I'm sorry, Todoist. Edit goal. Goals are just accomplishing tasks. Karma. That is a weird term for something that is purely self involved. I'm still view all completed tasks. Oh my God. Are you kidding? Okay, so they just like dump it at there at the end, which is a fine way of doing things, but all right. I'm just going to dump data that I think is useful into a static view. Completed. No. I don't know. Historic task. So there will be no updating. There will be no mutation of any kind for now. There will be no stopwatch. All we're doing is summarizing information. Calling this a display stopwatch is just incorrect, you know? We're going to change the way that this works. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to take the text in the timer string. We're going to make the timer string, this whole thing, its own widget. Placeholder. Is this going to work? Yes. It must. Loops. Does that matter? That's weird. I'm not sure that matters for the display. Okay, well, it doesn't matter here, that's for sure. It's a problem. So this is duration specific, so we can make it a value. Huh, for Todoist? Yeah, that's what I want, is to really just overload my, I don't know what I'm talking about. It seems excessive to me. That should be built in. They are a core competitor, though. They're probably the biggest competition in this space of this niche. Time tracking. Clockify. Flat tomato. Maybe that's a better way of doing things. So we want them to be able to, we want the users of this widget to be able to override themes. What features am I planning for the MVP? I'll show you in just a second. So we've pulled this out. And we're going to doesn't need that. It needs an elapsed. now that we've pulled out the logic into a separate widget. There. So the reason we wanted to do that was to do this. Let's take a gander. I said, let's take a gander. Oh, I have not replaced it. So we are taking historic task. It doesn't like it. Where is this throwing an error? Is empty, is thrown on null. Because we're displaying all tasks. So now that's static. So, okay, so to answer your question, what am I planning for the MVP? This is the Janktown MVP, which is the barest of bare bones functionality. So we're getting pretty close to that, right? For deployment, that's just the next step. Is I'm going to set up Google Sign-In, set up test flight, and then do some basic design work and implement those designs. So yeah, that's it. I wonder what people think is the market weakness with Todoist. To put it another way, the problem with Todoist. So they should be in deployment because I don't think it matters that much. This will not take that long, but we won't be able to, this will get us to test flight, right? So that is actually deployment. You could actually call this design. This is probably more accurate, but Yeah. I think that having time tracking integrated as a first-class citizen is going to be valuable. That's just me, though. Classic problem. So if you see this, the tab bar moves, which we don't want it to. I've seen this error before. I mean, it's not really an error, but yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely. Pomodoro, custom Pomodoro. Yeah. So I'm not going to bother with that, but I will make an issue. No, I won't make an issue because I'm not even sure if that's going to be the design. In fact, we probably won't remain with this bottom tab bar. So that doesn't seem right. Can tasks have steps? No, I'm not going to make tasks have steps, but I will entertain the idea of another concept in the code that can contain tasks. Actually, so can tasks have steps? We could do it self-recursive. We could make tasks a tree. So I'll show you the data model real quick. This is a task, right? We could do something like a subtask, or we can just do subtasks. I think this is valid. Yeah, me too. Yeah, because it lets us have infinitely nested tasks. Okay, so I'm aggressively feeling like I don't know what the next step is. We've got to-dos, history. Obviously, these look bad. I can't imagine using this myself, but task templates. think Todoist has this. It's a good idea. This is a pretty deep concept, though. I think I might do a clone feature first. Like copy paste without the completion metrics. But all right, so I'm listing tasks in the history. It has the duration. It doesn't have when it was completed, so I'm going to add that. I think that's a valuable thing to add. Oh my God, that was frustrating. Okay. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not sure I agree. Should be able. That's a good question. So it's pretty easy to see for me why it would be confusing for a task to be completed when its constituent parts are completed. So for instance, you have an overall task that's like workout, and you complete the push-up part, and then you want to go add another part to your workout. But then you find that it's been closed. So I think that should be a configuration option eventually. I think there's, I messed with this. That's horrible. I'm just going to do this. All right. Okay, what about... Yeah, it's true. I don't know. it'll probably be a minute before I add structured tasks. So I'm gonna not worry about it too much. So now we've got a completed timestamp. The overline is not a good place for this. It's ugly. Okay, so all tasks. I'm not feeling all tasks here right now. Well, I'll leave it for now, but this should be completed on That's what I like from a history page. Too much data. These aren't overlines anymore, they're just part of the caption. So if it's not null and it's not empty, so ugly, but informative. I'm calling that. Got to be aggressive with the Jingtown MVP. So the Jingtown MVP is now complete, as ugly as it is. but we haven't done any design work, so. And I added a note in the backlog earlier. Added structure to lib history page. So Okay, so the next step is to grab some Google sign-in logic from Savvy. So the way I implemented this in Savvy is, where is it? There's an app user table. So we're gonna add this to our schema. It's gonna need to be at the top. So an app user, this is because we're going to need other sign-in methods, especially with Apple's new policies. So Google sign-in will have to be just one of many. I have not implemented any. Oh, you mean like have I used it to sign into anything? No. So these tables are based on the payload we'll get back from the Google. It failed. Doesn't like it. Alrighty. And then tasks will obviously have an app user ID. And then all this noise, this is getting a lot. This is getting to be a lot, right? So but I'm still just going to keep dumping them in the same file. I think that's all we need, and I think that'll just work. Nope. All right, so now we have authentication functions, and last but not least, what do you mean? What do you mean this is beginning to look a lot like Christmas? It's March. Huh. Gotcha. So, it's time to add some user authentication. I wonder if I should bundle this as its own thing. Gotcha. I wonder if I can avoid. No, I can't. I can't, can I? I am going to have to write JavaScript server logic. The humanity. This is on GitHub. So it's on, this is the repo. The to-do app is to-do app. Who uses the bucket? What degenerate uses the bucket? I'm just joking. There's nothing wrong with Bitbucket. So, you can't see what I'm looking at. It's behind my face, isn't it? So, I'm not sure if there's anything that we don't want from this project. From GraphQL. shit. I copy/ard to the wrong place. So that's all of GraphQL. And we probably don't actually need anything else. So cool. So let's check our loot, what I looted from my other project. So essentially before this, we were just using basic postgraphile commands, but now we're upgrading because we need to add user authentication. So what timestamp is this also? This would be, because the postgraphile people will probably care about this. But basically I don't think these are, these aren't private. So the way that we add user authentication to postgraphile is, I think this is all it is. We just put middleware before everything. Oh no, that's the errors. We put a Google JWT handler. So our app will give us a JWT, and we will resolve that into an actual Google payload. And in order to do that, we will yet again taking a lot of stuff out of this thing, but that's fine. I'm grabbing login stuff, if I can find it. Where is it? Home. Nope. There are not limitations except for in that it is hard to do some things. User auth. Okay, so let's nab ourselves this lovely user auth file that will depend on Google sign-in. Which will become a core dependency of the most fundamental kind. Yeah, you can implement, and you can use any kind of server you want. It can be used as a library. PostgraphQL is very flexible, but the only limitation is that like doing it's kind of obtuse to do things like the postgraphile way, like with plugins and stuff, just because it's a very complicated system, right? It maps from Postgres to GraphQL, so there's no way for it to not be complicated. But yeah, you can do whatever you want. You can scale with postgraphile as far as you want to. Yeah, once you need like more than it's very like once you need the more than the basics, it's a lot easier to use it as a library. And I mean, like here, I'll show you that using it as a library is like, this is it, right? This is all I had to do to like, this is custom logic. So you can just plug it into Express. This is the postgraphile usage here. That's all it is. Override PG settings to put in a Google user. So it's a pretty dealio. Yeah, highly recommend. Also, now that of course. What is chat roulette? Okay, so I started the new secure GraphQL server, which means that when we restart this, we should get, it should explode in our face. That's exact as to be expected. Okay, I expected, yeah, missing authorization header. So that's not really the best error, but whatever. So what we're gonna want to do is go to our main Dart, and I'm going to go dip into my sweet cache of already written code, because already written code is better than writing things yourself. I'm going to grab an authentication provider. That will go over everything. And we'll restart, and it'll complain. Why? because Google sign in account isn't a type. An interesting complaint. So, could not resolve the package. Interesting. Let's restart the whole thing. That might be because I added a package while in the hot reloader didn't work. So if you're talking about my face being in front of stuff like here, that's not the best, but the having my face in front of stuff here is, oh, that's actually a lot larger than I thought it was. That's partially intentional. But yeah, I think that's a better way to do it. I don't have that much real estate on this computer because I'm on my laptop. So I don't want to worry about it too much. But I figure like in most of my views, my face is not really in the way of anything important. Well, I like having a window, a terminal window that can't be seen. Yeah, but it's not a big deal. I'm not looking at anything sensitive there. So all right, okay. Okay. This requires setup. So let's take a look, see. Riveting. Right click on runner. Add files to runner. Got a runner. Dialog will show up and ask you to select your targets. Interesting. Add files to runner. Is it wrong? Oh no. Options. Cancel. Okay, let's go here. Targets. Build settings. Oh, no, it's just automatic. Okay. Okay. Runner info. Okay. Riveting stuff. I'll probably have to restart the simulator. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I didn't even bother publishing. So this is taking a minute. Let's go acquaint ourselves with our roadmap a bit more. So we're almost done with Google sign-in, hopefully. And the next step is going to be test flight. So, and that will get us an actual deployment. What did I just do? Let's refresh that. I lost myself my breakpoint. Really? Okay, what is it complaining about? Media can query all. I'm just restarting it. That was stupid. So we might need this to be within the material app itself. That makes sense. Oh my God. If you try and restart the app from a caught breakpoint, Flutter hangs and sinks. Is that the case? Yep. Nice. That sucks. That sucks. Every time. Every time I need to do that. Okay, I need more information from that plist. So I'm going into the runner, and I don't know, I'm trying to hide this. It's not sensitive information. It'll be published with the, right, there we go. Cool. Cool. Suppress errors true doesn't work. Yeah, obviously. Stop doing this. It says suppress errors true. Sign in. Continue. Okay. Hiding that for a second. Right, of course. The Google sign-in tutorial is incomplete. No, it's not. I'm just being a whiner. So I have to go into the Google API console and enable the OAuth consent. And I have to do it under the right account. and I have to do it. Okay, Google API console is very, very, very slowly loading. Come on. Okay, I want to make it available to anyone. The application name is to-do app. The picture is me. Save. Because, okay. So let's see what we shall see. Throw these errors. I want to sign in. It's unclear if my OAuth consent cap or OAuth consent screen is now working. Cool. So I think it worked. But it still says missing authorization header. Why? Okay, so now it's no longer, okay, I'm going to consider the OAuth consent thing solved. Can go back to how it was in the before time with a full screen displaying. So I think what I need here is the Google Client ID. I need to provide the Google Client ID to the server itself. So I have added that to the environment. I am refreshing builds and it still doesn't like it. So I think I'm going to yarn add run.env. Just use what I used before. No. Okay, so is that really the problem? Do you think you can show us how to query from AppSync? At some point, probably. I think we have some. Here, I'll take a look at the. I've seen issues related to that on the GitHub. So as soon as I'm done with this Google sign-in thing, I will take a look. This is currently what we're dealing with. I'm trying to figure out why the authorization header is not being picked up by my postgraphile server. Okay, it's not being logged. So something is very wrong. I have to become a bit more acquainted with this. What is the issue? Where's this coming from? It's coming from my code? Yes. I guess I decided that this is a, yeah. I remember this being a pain in the ass. So I have this utility class for grabbing the token, but I don't think that's going to be enough here. Let's just get some actually, I can just breakpoint it here. Doesn't want a breakpoint. Okay, there we go. So current user is null, is authenticated. Is false. Okay. Is authenticated is not true. It is logged in, and then we want to take that auth and that print auth.id token. That's doable, right? Really? You print? Okay, maybe I can just do this and inspect it. What? What in the world? What is this issue? Okay. I think this is a... Oh, snap. I had no idea you could do this. You can expand the scope of your debugger. I wonder if that's new. Token. Come on. This sucks. Like, is there just no way to debug async stuff? It's just awful. It's just broken. Okay. Print. Ah! I'm a fool. I'm a danged fool. I'm a danged fool. You see it? You see it? Which one has to go first? I guess we'll find out in a second. I can turn off this breakpoint now. print. Ah, it was only able to print after a tick. All right. So I'm going to go take a look at other code. So what I'm working on right now is I'm adding a Google sign-in link to my clients, and it is failing. And I need to figure out exactly why it's failing. And I realized that I wasn't even adding the sign-in link to the client here, right? So right now I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, so I think and now it's not working again, but I think it's because I need to authenticate and then connect. So you add your authentication token and then you make the request. That is the natural, and it doesn't work. And why doesn't it work? Why isn't it working? No, it's a different error. It's a different error. There we go. That's probably it. So I'm dipping into like an old code base to grab, like that's where this Google sign-in link comes from in the first place. Nope. Refresh it. Still doesn't want to load. I am going to try and restart. I wonder what the issue is. Even more perplexing is, I guess this gets swallowed before getting any logs. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to log the token. Oh, there's some error. I'm going to log this error. What is in this package? Start? Really? That's all? What? Now I'm looking at how I webpacked. That's all. Okay. 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 So I need to add my build process back into this submodule. It is missing things. Because I deployed this to a Google, Google App Engine. Because I deployed this to Google App Engine, I have some. I bundle it into as small of a size as possible. It's not that important to do, but I had some code left over, so I had some code left over from a different experiment that was good for bundling. So now I'm getting the server set back up to console.log things coming through the server. That's all I'm doing right now. For React Native versus Flutter, I used React Native before Flutter, and I had a lot of issues with it. It obviously, other people seem to have found success with React Native, but I personally prefer Flutter immensely. Sass? What? Yeah. Sass? Why do you need Sass? I just don't think that I'm sure React Native has gotten better, but with the investment, I poured a lot of energy into React Native, and I got very burned. So I will not be going to React Native for, like, now that Flutter exists. I'm not going back to React Native ever. There's just no reason to take the risk, because it's like, yeah, like the learning curve with Dart is an issue. Sorry, I'm rummaging around in a terminal y'all can't see right now. I'm trying to figure out what this complaint is. Maybe I need an empty side effects listing so that it knows that there's no side effects. Webpack.config.js. Nope. Haha. This is frustrating me. So, so I know I've seen stuff about this. It does seem what is this, a PR? Yeah. Yeah, take a look at this. Huh. I think this is fine. I think this is a good PR. So this guy has a project. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to want to take a look at this stuff. Subhendu. Did I say that right? Is this old? Is this too old? What do you mean? Oh, I see. You're in here. Okay. This one. I see. I see what you're saying. That's funny. Yeah. So I'm merging this. Yeah. Cool. No, but that's an interesting. In the future, we might be able to work that out. Actually, that seems doable. So I have a I have a Discord where you can drop into the audio if you want. It's not the same as the GraphQL Flutter Discord, but I don't want to go too far down the. Well, we can talk about app sync stuff, but I'll jump on the. If you jump on the Discord like audio, we can talk about your app sync woes. But right now I need to figure out Sass. I could just yarn add d Sass. Keep things moving. I'm just Googling this. That's the right way to deal with problems. Whatever. Try that. What? Oh, I see. So I was building from so the idea here is that I see. The idea is that we only bundle what we need to in order to deploy. Huh. The audio on the Discord? Shit. That wasn't anything sensitive, was it? No. Cool. Weird. Yeah, I'm in the audio. So. I am crashing. Don't need that. Because we're bundling it ourselves for some reason. We're taking, so I don't want to think about this too much. This is probably more than we need, but Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. Okay, we're gonna want that, but we don't need that. We don't need that. Yarn. Ah. No. This is frustrating. Keep editing the wrong packages. This is dumb. Okay. This is stupid. That. And dev dependencies. We have no side effects. This is major. This sucks. Nope. Opposite of that. So this is the deployment script. I don't want to bother setting up like a real watch for the server because we won't be making many changes to it. Yarn start. Doesn't like it. What is the complaint? Okay, so we're now running the production what would be run in production. Production being a Google App Engine thing. All right, Subhendu. Thanks for tuning in. Good luck with the app sync stuff. Maybe next time we'll look at that more in depth. But yeah, don't stay up until 4 a.m. That's not a good habit to be in. All right, all of this was just for logs. Okay. Payload audience is the wrong recipient. All right, take it easy. So I want to make sure. Okay, so first of all, my schema is wrong, but second of all, my Google project is wrong. We'll get it. We're getting there. And once we're there, we're done. We're square. Sample progress on Google sign in. We're so close. Oh, I'm tired. I'm tired and I want to go home. I want to leave this Google sign in mess behind me. And this isn't even to mention Apple sign-in. Cool. See, I wonder which one is best. Oh, snap. Really? That's cool. No, it still doesn't like it. It still doesn't like it. No. That won't make a difference. Okay. Sign out. That's what we call the hard code sign out. An ancient secret. Continue. Go get a password. No way this works. No way. No way. No. Yeah, see, that's what I'd expect. Is for it to load forever and fail. There we go. Okay, so now we know that we're using the right thing. Okay. Let's go double check the Google service plist. I am indeed using the right reverse client ID. The client ID, which is known by the server. Is there some backend configuration that I'm missing? I don't think there is, because it is authenticated by the server, not payload audience not equal required audience. Audience, ACK audience. ACK audience dot backend. Could it be that the issue is that the OAuth consent screen is not properly configured? Let's compare my other project, OAuth consent screen. That is very slow loading. I love it when stuff is very slow to load, personally, and fails to load. In fact, that's just what gets this is driving me nuts. It's totally failing to load. Okay. Nope. This sucks. Required audience. I don't know how this makes any sense. Okay, Babel node. Come on. Cool. All right. Really? Really? What is that called? No. Ah, this is a pain in the ass. Okay, that's not worth it. I should focus on the issue at hand. Schemas. Options. Pretty irritating. Okay. What is a JWT audience? Okay, so that's exactly right. Okay, this is also bad. So I want to see if find public, not publish, public. Okay. Well, okay, one thing at a time. That looks, no, it's not the same. Okay. I am frustrated. This is a verifier of client ID. Creates a new client and gets a ticket. And verifies. Gets the payload from that ticket. Maybe the issue Oh. It's probably something on the consent screen itself. Okay. Give me okay. I need to go deeper into the consent screen to figure it out. Support email. I have URLs. Okay, it's not about the URL. Credentials. Page usage agreements. I don't know. This is a worthless error. Okay. It's going to be the most frustrating thing. I already know it. Okay, my other app needs verification too, so that's not the problem. Better not be what I think it is. Oh my god, it's totally going to be this. It's totally going to be what I think it is. Okay, it's not. No, it is. I put in the client ID backwards. I put in the reverse client ID. Now the only problem is that it's not working for other reasons. Okay, what's the new error? We'll solve that. Okay, it's got something to do with So my guess is, well, actually it gave us this weird error. Did you mean current sign-in? No, I didn't mean current sign-in. Why would it think that? Hmm. Hmm. Remove unsupplied. So we're going to reduce how does this work again? Valid. Is object items a thing yet? Nope. That's all we want. Or we just give it back. Otherwise, we do this. Gives us what we want, I think. Doesn't. Because we have to return the reduction. Which it doesn't like. Why not? What's wrong with it? It's perfectly good. Okay, that's annoying. How can the schema missing be public? What's wrong? maybe it's giving us that error because, yep, because introspection was failing because of the null credentials. There we go. Authentication. Okay. This shouldn't be. Cache, no. Postgraphile cache will cause alrighty. All right, that is going to do it for now. We obviously have some issues, some kink, so we're going to have to add like app users. Oh, okay, there should be an app user. Okay, well, I'll leave that for next stream. What we're going to want to do is go to the GitHub, go to major, create a new issue, that's right. Create Google. So we have app user and Google sign in tables, but we need to make sure they created at sign up. Add field, add references to task. Foreign key. Parameterize queries. Alrighty, that's gonna do it. We got sign in. we got sign in, but we actually need to qualify some things. So complete Google sign in integration. So we have tables, check. WT validation, check. Login screen, check. And then this issue. That's the last thing. All right, leaving it there.